Okay, I've got this engine hoist over here, this blue one. That's called a Bluebird engine hoist. I bought it used, and I bought it at Sunbelt Rentals, I believe it was called. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to tie a rope on this sander, and then we're going to try to get it into the pickup. All right, now this grizzly sander, it's very heavy. It's about 235 pounds, something like that. Now, if you look up here, I've got this hook here. It says 5/16. It's really not a very big hook, and I don't really like it. But now this cable, I believe this cable is aluminum, and if you go clear to the top, up here, there's a pulley up there, and then this cable continues on out into the yard, and then I lifted this whole thing out of my one pickup, and I have another pickup, and so I lifted it out of one pickup and put it on this bunch of sawhorses here, and it worked really well. Then I put pieces of wood down here to hold it on the sawhorses. Okay, now here is the space where I'm going to put this memorial. This memorial I got from the Veterans Administration. Okay, now you can figure out this yourself, but what I'm going to do is I've looked at some of the other different grave sites. In this particular one, everything has to be level with the surface. So in other words, over here you see the edge of the grave marker, and I'm going to put the new marker, or the new, yes, I'm going to put the veterans marker over there. I'm going to put that over here. So let's get started. There has been snow out here, and so it's very cold, probably at least 32. So first of all, I'm marking the edges. This, by the way, is marble, and the memorial on top is bronze. Now after you get it in there, this end over here is a little bit low. So I'm going to have to put dirt under there and try to get it level. There, that's pretty good for now. It's so cold out here, I'm not going to do it anymore. Basically, all you need is to take this belt sander. This is just a regular belt on here. It's nothing fancy, but this is about 60 or 80 grit. And then the other thing that I used was a hammer drill. This is the hammer drill I used. All right, it's not the most expensive one, but it's not the cheapest either. It's got a nice handle with it that can be used. You just loosen this screw right here, put this handle on, and around this ring right here at the top, and then tighten it down. It is a good hammer drill, but it will not take SDS bits. SDS bits are a little bit better than regular ones. But you can use either one. I'm talking about bits with this type of end on it, 1/4 inch. You can probably use those. Anyways, I only had to drill a small hole, and this is marble, and surprisingly enough, you can work marble all with hand tools. Now, I did not polish it like you see some memorials, like headstones for graves. But this worked very well. It cleaned up. All this stuff right here came off, and then I just used it that way. And then after that, I drilled 2 holes, because that bronze plate had 2 places on the back, sort of raised areas that were threaded. And then you would take, for instance, a hole like this. This is actually the size hole that I had, something similar to that. And then I had to measure very carefully where I wanted the holes. They were approximately 6 inches apart, maybe 5 or 4. And then I took bolts and washers like these, brass, that came with the kit, came with a Veterans Memorial bronze plate, and I put 2 threaded screws through the 2 holes I drilled. And really, I didn't get them perfect, so I had to make the holes a little bit bigger on one side. So that'll work. So I cut this right here on the end, and one thing you don't want to do is you don't want to have one end like right here. You don't want to have this end overhanging the table saw or whatever you're going to cut it on, or bench, and overhanging it on the floor, because it broke right here and fell on the floor and messed it up. So I had to use some creative sanding to sort of smooth it over. So I cut a piece that I knew that would supply a border around the bronze piece that came from the veterans. So it's basically like this. And then I had to do a lot of measuring to drill a couple holes. And then bolted it down. So I ended up with something like this, and this is the plaque with the name on here. And you can't see these 2 holes because the plaque covers the holes, and the threaded portion is on the back of the plaque. So you see, after you get done, all you see is the words. So then I had to dig a little bit of a channel to set the thing back down in. Now, the thing is, where I put it, the person who was buried there, one was buried 3 years ago, one was buried in 2022, and so once they buried them, this dirt had not settled from 3 years ago, and just now, from the beginning of the year until now, it took all that time for the dirt to settle, and before they would set the main grave marker back in its place. In the meantime, before they set it down, they had it up on cement blocks so that the dirt would settle around there, and then they could dig a small channel to put the memorial in there. And it was granite on the base, and then bronze, a bronze plaque, a bigger one, for the people that were buried there. So that's basically what happened.